First thing you're going to do is set up your palette. You're going to need a little bit of each color. Keep your blues together, your reds together, and your yellows together. You're going to need just a little bit because you're not going to do that much painting today, so you can always go up and get more. Put all of your colors along the horizontal edge of your palette paper and then put white and black on the opposite side in the corner so that there's no possibility of any of the colors polluting each other. As you use that center area to mix all the colors on your color chart, make sure that you're keeping it as organized as possible since we are going to reuse this palette paper a couple of times. As I mentioned the other day, the purpose of this color mixing chart is just to see what's the difference between using cool primaries and warm primaries and how do they interact together. Where you see the three rectangles together, the H in the center stands for hue. So that's the mixing of the two colors, whatever two colors you're mixing together. Then to the left, you're going to see plus W, and that just means that original color plus white. And then where you see plus B, it's going to be that middle H color plus black. So we're essentially making tints and shades. So as an example, in the second row, I have red, and in my fourth column, I have cerulean blue. So where it says H, I'm going to mix some red with cerulean blue, and that color is going to go there. Then to the left, I'm going to add some white so it becomes a tint of that color. And then on the right, I'm going to add black to the H so it becomes a shade of that color. And you'll do that for all of those different boxes. You'll notice in the very first box where it says magenta in the row and magenta in the column, then you're just going to put plain old magenta in where it says H and then make a tint and shade of magenta. So much of painting is color matching, and so once you finish the chart, I want you to do a little color matching exercise. I've taken some screenshots from these two still lives, and I've just isolated them and put them on that small quarter sheet that you'll see on the black cart. I want you to try to match these color swatches in the empty square next to each one. I find it really helpful to talk myself through color matching. So I will first say, what color is it? Is it green? Is it yellow? Is it red? Like, what is the base color that I'm working with? Then I'll ask myself, does it need to be warmer? And if it does need to be warmer, then I'll add one of my warmer colors. So that would be ultramarine or cadmium red or the deeper yellow. If it needs to be cooler, then maybe I'll add a cooler color. I'll add cerulean blue, I'll add the lemon lighter yellow, or I'll add magenta. Does it need to be more gray? If it needs to be more gray, then maybe I'll add black. If it needs to be lighter, then maybe I'll add white. Does it need to be less saturated or less bright? In which case, I would not add black, but I would add its complement. So if I'm working with a green color, I'll add one of my reds. If I'm working with orange, I'll add one of my blues. If I'm working with yellows, I'll add some purple. Really using your knowledge of color theory to kind of walk yourself through. Because if I just look at the color and I'm not having some sort of inner dialogue in my head, then it becomes overwhelming and I'm kind of stuck. So describe the color to yourself and ask yourself what it needs to get you to where you need to go.